Freestyle for varsity. And there's really three combatants in this final that I think really have a good shot. So first of all, in lane 3, Billy Connor from Archbishop Spalding had that masterful swim in the 2IM earlier, going a 153 for second. But the man that he lost to, the freshman from Loyola Blakefield, Daniel Branon, is the top seed in lane 4. He went a 4:37.2 in the prelims. And the next swimmer that I really think that we should be watching here in lane 5 from Gilman, the junior, and the club teammate of Daniel Branon's at North Baltimore Aquatic Club, is Max Kunisaki. Max had a masterful swim in the 500 free, going a 4:35.5 at a meet at Gilman last year, which shattered the Gilman record as well. So you've got to think that maybe having him swim next to Daniel could maybe help him see Daniel better, and just further propel him to a victory, because Max does not like to lose. Lane 2, last year's runner-up, Brandon Richter, is swimming with a cast on. He had an injury earlier, and that has affected the way that he's been swimming. But he was the runner-up last year in a 4:35, 2/100ths of a second, behind Loyola senior from last year, Patrick Brandon. But you've got to think that it's got to be either Daniel, Max, or Billy up there. Max Mislow, the 2IM champion from last year in lane 6, had a disappointing swim in the 2IM. He's going to want to get back. We'll see what happens here in the 500 free. They're on the marks, and they're off into the 500 free final. Daniel and Max immediately got off to a good start. It's Daniel and Max, but we'll see how this race shapes out with the first 100, but it's Daniel and Max are going out for it. Daniel's slightly in front now. Billy Connor a bit back, but Daniel and Max are already starting to separate themselves from everybody else. But Daniel Branon and Max Kunisaki turning head-to-head. And it looks like it's going to be a long draw battle between these two. Daniel's going slightly in front now, but Max is breathing towards him and is making sure that he does not let Daniel get too far away from him, because if he lets Daniel get far away from him, this race could very well be over very quickly. Daniel goes in front of Max now. Daniel takes a body length lead on Max Kunisaki now. As Max is breathing away, but Max is cutting back onto him. We'll see how they turn. They turn slightly even. Daniel Branon slightly in front, has a body length lead. Max is looking at him now. Billy Connor's clearly ahead of Brandon Richter for third place, but it's still Max and Daniel. Although Daniel has established a lead, he hasn't really been able to run away with it yet, but Daniel's lead is slowly increasing. Daniel has a body length on Max currently, but Max is doing a really good job. He can't let Daniel run away from him. If he lets Daniel run away with him, this race will be over very quickly. But Max is doing a really good job holding Daniel where he is as they near this turn of the race, which is a really good thing for Max. Daniel still has a body length lead in front of him, but Daniel has not been able to get away from Max. Max is still hanging right in there with that body length, whether Daniel still has a body length lead. They've separated themselves from Billy Connor and Brandon Richter in the other lanes first, and Daniel Branon still with that body length lead. Max still closely following him in second place, but the lead remains a body length. The two of them are really going far in front away from the rest of the field as they near the halfway point of the race. Daniel Branon starting to slightly extend his lead, though. He's turned on the jets, and he's trying to get away from Max, but Max responds, swaying up slowly, but Daniel Branon is surely starting to turn in front, starting to get that distance on Max. Max sees this and is coming back at him, though, but the two of them are far in front of everybody else. Brandon Richter from McDonough and Billy Connor of Archbishop Spalding are having a good battle for second. I think Daniel's starting to slightly get away from Max, though. But we'll see what Max has in store. But those two are unbelievably far ahead of everybody else. Daniel Branon, the freshman from Loyola, trying to hold off Max from Gilman off his teammate. Max sees this and has cut the lead to a body length again. He's refused. He is throwing absolutely everything at Daniel and is trying not to let him get away. Daniel turns ahead of him, though, as they've passed the halfway point, and Daniel tries to get away from him again. Cam's up better than him, but Max has consistently been able to swim him down. Will Max put on a big charge at the last 100 to try to chase him down? As they near the 350, Daniel still has a body length lead over Max. The lead has not changed whatsoever between the two of them, but the two of them are leagues in front of everybody else. Billy Connor and Brandon Richter are having a good battle as they near the 400 point. But Daniel got a really good turn there, and he's getting slid. Now he begins to open up the lead on Max. Max isn't breathing towards him, but the two are very far ahead of everybody else. It's Daniel and Max, but Daniel is slowly beginning to go away from Max. Max looks at this. Max tries to respond to Daniel, but Daniel goes in to the 450 turn, to the 400 turn, with a significant lead, and he's slowly increasing the lead. I think Max is fatiguing a bit. Max is falling a bit back on Daniel. Max is still going pretty strong in lane 5, but Daniel's got a 2 body length lead over him at this stage. Daniel Branon of Loyola Blakefield, the standout freshman, and the standout freshman has a 2 length body lead over Max Kunisaki, and it looks like Daniel Branon is going to win as they go to the last 50. Daniel Branon having a wonderful swim in lane 4. The freshman will win by 3 body lengths. Max is throwing everything at him, but it is too late. Daniel Branon winning by a long shot. Daniel Branon touches in first place. We'll have to wait for everybody to finish to see what the time is. Oh boy, Daniel's happy with that. Max came in second. Max had a wonderful swim. And Daniel, you can see, splashed water, and it was a great race for third. Who's going to get it? Oh boy, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to check Meet Mobile to see who got there in time, because it was really close between Brandon Richter and Billy Connor for third place. We're going to see if Meet Mobile will now update. Meet Mobile still is not updated yet, so we don't have the results for the heat yet. But trying to see if we will reload again. There's still no result for Daniel Branon, but Daniel, although clearly won by a mile, and you can see Daniel was clearly happy with his swim there. So that's probably an indication that Daniel probably went a personal best. I would have to think so. We're still waiting for the results to update, so we don't have the full results of the 500 free yet. But your winner in lane 4, the freshman standout from Loyola Blakefield, Daniel Branon, wins the 500 free.